Hi everyone and welcome back to Top Grade. My name is Spencer Miller and today I am so excited to introduce you to a selection of brand new Canadian picture books for the fall 2022 season. We have so many picture books to talk about today, so let's get started. Our first book today, I Hope, from Orca Book Publishers, is written by Monique Gray-Smith with illustrations from Gabrielle Grimard. I Hope is a poignant picture book from Indigenous author Monique Gray-Smith about all of the hopes that adults have for the young people in their lives. It also challenges young people to think about the hopes that they have for themselves. I think as parents or guardians or caregivers or teachers, any adult who cares about a young person, it can be so hard to find the words to express really everything that we hope for them and how much we love them. And so I think it's such a gift that Monique Gray-Smith has found the words for us in I Hope. The book is already available in French and Cree English editions. I think this is the type of story you're going to want to read over and over again with your students to invite a spirit of love and care into your classroom, to let them know how much you really hope for them. There's really nothing more important than that. The Ugly Place from Inhabit Media is written by Laura Deal with the cutest illustrations from Emma Peterson. I don't know if you can see these grumpy little rocks, but I love them so much. Have you ever felt in an ugly mood where you feel ugly, the world is ugly, just everything feels miserable and cold and negative and you can't seem to get out of that space? That's what this book is all about. It helps to explore ideas around mental health and wellness at an elementary level and emphasizes to young readers that getting outside and spending time in nature, breathing in and out, appreciating the simple beauties of the world around us are all things that can help us to find peace and bring back happiness when we are in a moment of ugliness. If your classroom is ever in a funk, I really recommend taking this book outside with your students, get in a circle, read the story together, and then close your eyes, breathe, and see if that changes the vibe of your classroom. My Name is Saajin Singh is published by Anik Press, written by Kuljinder Kaur Brar, with illustrations from Samrit Kaur. This is a story about names and how important they are to our identities. Saajin is such a lovable character. Having your name pronounced is such a relatable experience to many of our students, and it can be really difficult and challenging to figure out exactly how to deal with that situation. Saajin sets an excellent example of dealing with love and kindness, but also being brave and assertive and making sure that others know exactly how he wants his name to be pronounced. Author Kuljinder Kaur Brar is also an elementary school teacher, and sometimes author teachers just know exactly what other teachers need. This book is perfect for reading anytime you meet a new group of students to help emphasize the importance of names and practice learning and pronouncing each other's names, making sure everybody is feeling comfortable in your classroom. It's also something to revisit throughout the year whenever you want to teach more about celebrating cultural diversity and cultural identities with its authentic depictions of a Sikh Punjabi family. Also from Inhabit Media, we have The Three Hunters. This very special book was written by the grade 4 class at Leo Usick School in Nunavut. Can you believe it? This book was written by 4th graders. They had a lot of help from their teacher, Raymond Giofrancesco, as well as their school counselors and learning coaches. And of course, they had help with illustrations from the talented Tamiris Paredes. After completing their social studies unit about Inuit traditions, the class was inspired to write their own version of the Three Little Pigs set in Nunavut in the past. Every day after lunch for weeks, they worked hard to brainstorm, write, and edit their story. I'm excited to think about what type of projects this book could inspire across the country. What type of stories are your students ready to tell if you gave them the chance to write a book of their own? You can follow the example of the Three Hunters by starting with a familiar fairy tale or folktale and then letting your students put their own twist on it and coming up with their own unique story ideas. Still, This Love Goes On from Greystone Kids is brought to you from a dream team of creators. Award-winning Cree icon, singer-songwriter Buffy St. Marie lends the words from one of her popular songs, and critically acclaimed Cree Métis artist Julie Flett brings the lyrics to life with beautiful illustrations. Still This Love Goes On is a lyrical celebration of seasons, nature, and indigenous community. A special note from the author, Buffy St. Marie, in the back tells about the inspirations and the special meaning behind this song. It's beautiful that this book is based on a song because you can listen to it together with your students to introduce them to the lyrics and then invite them to sing as you read the story together and appreciate the illustrations from Julie Flett. There's even sheet music provided in the back of the book for anybody who can play along. Sweetgrass from Nimbus Publishing is written by Teresa Muse with illustrations from Jessica Jerome. You can learn more about the Mi'kmaq traditions and teachings about sweetgrass in this story about a young man who goes out to gather and braid sweetgrass together with his auntie. Read along as Warren learns about the many uses of sweetgrass as a traditional medicine, a sacred offering, a smudging ingredient, and as he learns the importance of not picking more than he needs. This heartfelt story from a wonderful team of creators will introduce students to a treasured indigenous tradition. Room for More from Pajama Press is written by Michelle Katarusman with illustrations from Maggie Zhang, inspired by the 2020 wildfires in Australia. This story about two wombats teaches about the importance of helping others in need. These two guys learn to welcome fleeing animals into their safe, cool burrow underground, keeping them safe from the fires raging outside. This book explores a lot of big ideas like climate change and environmental disasters and welcoming refugees, but does so with a lot of humor and heart at a level that elementary school students will understand and relate to. This book is an empathy builder, and I would invite you to talk to your students more about what it means to be a refugee and how they can welcome refugees into your community. From Owl Kids Books and creator Tal Lam, The Line in the Sand is a wordless picture book about conflict, communication, and problem solving. The story is about a monster who walks down a beach, dragging a stick behind him, creating a line in the sand, which gets another group of monsters very curious about this line and how they can cross it or if they're allowed to. I love wordless picture books because they're highly interactive. When a book has no words, it means that you get to come up with the words with your students, and every time you tell the story, it's a little bit different and you can put your own twist on it. They're also great in multilingual classrooms to break down language barriers. Everyone can participate. There's lots of fun and there's sure to be a lot of laughter. And this one is particularly great because it can also lead to excellent discussions about problem solving and how do we break down the barriers or the lines that we draw between us. Another excellent book about problem solving is published by Running the Goat Press. This is Lola Flies Alone. It's written by Bill Richardson with wacky hand-drawn illustrations from Bill Peckett. This story is about a young girl named Lola who is very imaginative, very stylish, and who is flying unaccompanied for the first time on her way to visit her grandmother. Unfortunately, her flight keeps being delayed as they're having issues taken off due to a bunch of wacky scenarios like mermaids who are bathing in the middle of the runway. Lola, whose motto it is to be good and kind and generous and brave, helps an overwhelmed flight attendant amend this series of silly issues. I love Lola's motto as it's repeated throughout the story, and you can ask your students what it means to them to be good and kind and generous and brave. What does that look like in your classroom? Really emphasize these values and how they can be everyday practices in your room and in your students' interactions with their classmates. Those are all the books for today. Thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun, and I hope that you found a book that you're excited about that you can bring into your classroom and share with your students. I also want to thank Ontario Creates for their continued support of the Top Grade program. Visit the new and improved topgradebooks.ca to watch more videos, to see and download book lists, to explore books by grade level, check out blog posts with reading and classroom activities, and more.